Good morning, everyone. A warm welcome to today's webinar hosted by California County Information Services Directors Association, also known as SCAG, presented by AgreeYa and Southern California Association of Governments, known as SCAG. We are truly delighted to have you all join us for an insightful discussion on streamlining county workflows and data, real-world case studies. My name is Kanu, and I'll be a moderator for today's session. We will, before we delve into the webinar, let's kick things off with a quick poll to get to know you better. You'll have approximately 10 seconds to answer the poll. Thank you in advance for your participation. All right. While we'll wait for all of you to put in their titles and role details there, I did like to take a moment to introduce you to the agenda of this webinar and the flow of today's discussion. First up, we'll begin with introducing our esteemed panelists and their organizations. Following that, we will explore the challenges of streamlining county workflows and data, discussing common obstacles and strategies for overcoming them. Next, we'll move on to the heart of our webinar, the real-world case studies. Our panelists will share their experiences and insights into successful initiatives at streamlining workflows and managing data effectively. During the presentation, we encourage participants to drop their queries in the Q&A box. Our panelists will address them towards the end of the session. Finally, we'll conclude with some closing remarks, summarizing the key takeaways from the webinar today and actionable insights from today's discussion. Participants will really value your input and courage and encourage you to actively engage with the panelists throughout the session. All right, please join me in welcoming our panel of speakers, experts in the field of workflow automation, data analysis, public sector regulatory compliance, ADA rulings, cybersecurity, and more. Each bring a unique perspective and valuable insights to our discussion today. We first have Jonathan Holt, Manager of Application Development and Support at SCAG. He will delve into specifics of how they overcame the challenges around citizen engagement, workflow optimization, system modernization, and data-driven decision-making. Next with us is Parth Shah, AVP AgreeYa Solutions, who will share his experience in solutioning these projects. Our speakers will guide us through an insightful presentation, sharing how their collaborative efforts have revolutionized SCAG operations. Without further ado, let's dive into our discussion, and I will pass on the baton to Jonathan and Parth now. Please introduce yourself and your organization briefly to our esteemed guest. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Kanu, and good morning, everyone. My name is Jonathan Holt, and as mentioned, I'm the Application Development Support Manager at SCAG. And SCAG, if you haven't heard of it before, is the Southern California Association of Governments. We're a joint powers authority serving as a metropolitan planning organization, regional transportation agency, and council of governments. The SCAG region, it includes 6 counties, including Imperial, Los Angeles, Orange, San Bernardino, and Ventura. It also includes 16 federally recognized tribal governments, and it's a region with just about 19 million people that consists of almost 50% of the state. It's also among the most diverse in the world, both demographically and geographically. And so there's almost no way that one person can grasp everything in the region. That's why regional collaboration becomes so important, and SCAG being a regional convener is critical. Parth?
Yes. Thank you, Jonathan, for that introduction. Hello, everyone. Good morning. My name is Parth Shah. I'm a Associate Vice President here at AgreeYa, looking at the modern workplace practice. I'd like to briefly introduce AgreeYa to the audience here. So before we dive into the case study, I want to share a bit about the AgreeYa with you. AgreeYa started its journey in '99 1999, and since then we have been at the cutting edge of the tech innovation, right from our home base in Folsom, California. We are passionate about crafting top-notch tech solutions for a wide range of clients, including cities, counties, state, and local governments. We are currently doing business with approximately 35 states in the United States. Our team is made up of over 2,500 professionals, talented individuals who are experts in creating digital experiences that are not just cool, but also super effective. Our services include everything from creating awesome workplace tech, analytics that help you make smart decisions, automation that simplifies your life, cloud solutions that take you to new heights, and mobile strategies that keep you connected wherever you are. With solid 25 years of experience and with Microsoft Solutions, we are all about helping customers stay ahead of the curve, ensuring customer operations are smooth and ready to take on the future. Thank you again for joining today. We are excited to dive into how AgreeYa can boost your organization's digital journey. Let's get started by taking a closer look at some of the services AgreeYa offers before we dive into the case studies. So real quick, the solutions that AgreeYa offers are three foundational pillars, which is cloud, data, and AI, modern workplace, and hyperautomation. Right? They are the cornerstones of our strategy for propelling our customers towards greater efficiency, agility, and competitive edge in today's digital landscape. Cloud and infrastructure, our services facilitate seamless transition of applications and workloads to the cloud, supporting both hybrid and multi-cloud environments. We provide managed support, cost optimization, and expertise in cutting-edge technologies, such as SRE, microservices, serverless computing, containerizations, app modernization, and so forth. Data and analytics, we deliver comprehensive data solutions, including data visualizations, reporting, data warehousing, and business intelligence, transforming data into actionable insights. AI and ML, harnessing the power of AI, ML, and Gen AI, along with IoT and predictive analytics, we provide data-driven insights that inform strategic decision-making. And modern workplace, we enhance the collaboration, communication through unified endpoint management and implement modern workplace technologies like Microsoft 365, Teams, SharePoint, and Office 365. And lastly, hyperautomation, our advisory and process mining services identify opportunities to streamline business processes. We implement cognitive automation solutions using RPA, BPM, and intelligent automation technologies. So let me thank you for your attention. Let me quickly talk about some of the representative customers that we have. And we take pride in our collaboration with over 550 customers, including prominent counties such as Alameda, San Mateo, Los Angeles, and cities like San Jose, Fontana. And our participation extends to notable private sector players like Verizon, Cardinal Health, Delta Dental, etc., as well as vital public sector entities such as SMART, Department of Public Health, and so forth. So this rich set of experience across various domains and industries equips us with unique insights and a broad perspective, enabling us to deliver solutions that are not only innovative, but also deeply attuned to the specific needs of our county customers. Our diverse expertise ensures that we bring best practices and cutting-edge solutions to every project, driving success and creating lasting value for all of our customers. Thank you for your trust in us. Together, we are forging a path forward successfully and technologically empowered future. Let's make a difference one county at a time. Kanu?
Yes, full time again, participants. I'm sure all of you must be seeing the poll popping up on your screens. Please take time to participate in this poll. You'll have at least 10 to 15 seconds to respond to this poll. Parth, you may carry on. I'm sure the participants will be able to see the poll.
Right.
Thank you.
So we briefly want to talk about some of the common challenges faced by the local government organizations, and see which resonates most with our audience here, and that's what the poll is about. So, looking at some of the hurdles California public sector faces in modernizing, starting with the legacy systems, these outdated technologies slow down data sharing and automation. Upgrading them is expensive and slow. Jonathan, your thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely, Parth. Siloed data makes it worse. Our data is stuck in separate systems, making it tough to work together across departments. It's really like a jigsaw puzzle with pieces you can't touch.
Right. And that leads to the data quality and the consistency issues, right?
Right. With so many data pieces or elements in different places, keeping it all correct and consistent is really a huge challenge. Imagine building something with bricks that just don't match.
All right. And what about the maze of the regulations and the compliance requirements?
Yeah, well,
Sure.
it's definitely a fine line, with all those, and definitely in government we have plenty of those regulations. So we have to meet those standards without slowing down our work too much at all, and it's a big task.
Right. And with the tight budgets, how do you keep it up?
That is also tough, as you can imagine. There's not much money for new tech or experts, and it's it's like running with tied shoelaces.
Awesome. Yeah. How big the hurdle is the change management and organization cultural change?
It's huge. New tech means changing old ways, and that is both hard and it's necessary.
Finally, the cybersecurity. How do we stay safe but efficient?
Yeah, we put security first, to keep data safe, and any new tech that we have needs to be secure without being too hard to set up.
Right. Thanks, Jonathan. It's clear the road ahead is tough, but we must travel it to modernize the county IT operations. So we have a poll up now. I think the poll was a little delayed. So county folks, audience, if we can respond to the poll, we understand what are the challenges that you all are facing. A lot of are saying all of the above. That's interesting. 69% of the people are saying all of the above. So yes, those are the various challenges. So having discussed these challenges and seen where our collective concerns lie, we will now present case studies, and these highlight how we have partnered with SCAG to address these very issues, paving the way for a more efficient and secure future. So we have 4 case studies that we'll be discussing, starting with finance transformation for finance department. They discover how we have revolutionized the finance department's operations and cutting-edge workflow automations, leading to a remarkable gains in efficiency and a significant reduction in manual labor. Enhanced public comment response enhancements, where you'll know about how we made substantial improvements we have implemented in the public comments process, achieving the gold standard of zero downtime. Centralized data repository solution, and again, insight into the centralized data solutions we developed, which has empowered SCAG with the tools to make well-informed decisions that we have positive ripple effects across organization. And the team's governance, see how our strategic approach to the team's governance has prevented sprawl and enhanced collaboration, fostering seamless communication and effective project management. This is going to be an interactive dialogue between me and Jonathan. And this will provide us a window into how our problem-solving strategies and how we have tackled these challenges, and hope you can use those insights for implementing, some of these solutions and for other solutions into your organization. Great. So let's start with the workflow automation for the finance department. Jonathan, can you talk about what were some of the needs and the challenges that you had?
Yeah, certainly, Parth. The manual validation process for financial documents was really inefficient, causing delays, errors, and that's with many resource constraints. We have multiple internal reviewers and approvers across departments. There's uncertainty across a lot of the statuses of those documents was pretty common. We relied on manual methods, which led to missing documents and different processing delays, errors, and further resource constraints for the grant processing team. And then we needed a workflow system starting really with 5 distinct types of financial documents, but we also wanted that to be something that was something we could manage and also expand on. And so really with these challenges, we reached out to AgreeYa for help. So Parth, can you maybe talk about the approach and solution that AgreeYa provided?
Certainly, Jonathan. So we began with thoroughly assessing the existing processes and to pinpoint the efficiencies. Right. Our exploration and led to SCAG's tech stack led us to identify the most effective tools for our needs. So the solution architecture we recommended is not only scalable, but also easy to maintain, ensuring longevity and adaptability. By integrating Microsoft 365 automated workflows using SharePoint and Power Automate, which significantly reduced the manual task and accelerated approval processes. Azure DevOps was instrumental in managing the project effectively, allowing for collaboration and timely delivery. And our commitment didn't stop at the go live. We have been dedicated to refining the solution, ensuring it continues to meet the department's evolving needs. Jonathan now will provide insights into the architecture of the solutions and the gains that they had, the impact they had on this.
Panelist, we also have a hand raised from a participant called Neelam Seni. Neelam, would you like to drop in your question so that panelists can take up that? Okay, we'll wait for Neelam to put in her question in the QA box. Panelist, you may please proceed ahead in the meantime.
All right, great. Well, thank you for that, Parth. And I love documents like this as the department manager overseeing the critical applications coming into SCAG. And with this, SCAG SCAG overall, it's important to use just trusted technology on platforms where our documents already exist, especially in the case of workflow. It's also important to match SCAG technology strategy that leans on existing technology first and also looks to benefit from SCAG's knowledge assets within their IT professionals. And so we really wanted to use SharePoint Online with Power Automate to achieve this task. So we worked with AgreeYa to understand and help us refine a solution for that. And we landed on the technical approach that's displayed here that has the user starting in a familiar place, that being SharePoint Online. So just kind of walking through the diagram and maybe trying to look at it from a functionality perspective where you can see the technology here and understand how it's functioning along the way. A user starts by creating a document set and filling out metadata values. So again, all in SharePoint. And when ready, Power Automate picks it up, uses any document type specific setting that we have set up, and then ushers it through a multi-step, multi-approver workflow process. And so that process is equipped with tracking of each approval, reminder emails, automatic document security changes along the way. And users have the ability to view and see what's waiting in their particular approval queue. Managers have the ability to see what's being stuck somewhere or what the status is of something. And administrators have different options for adjusting workflow, resetting workflow, adjusting approvers and such, especially as folks go out of office. So we have options to keep things going. So all this was built with SharePoint and Power Automate, which brings in a vast amount of their own functionality as well. So we're leveraging features that are coming from all different places, but it's not limiting for us to be able to use everything and customize it together. So some of the impacts that we've had and some of the improvements that we've seen have been significant. So we saw a 3 times reduction in workflow related processing time, as you can imagine, moving from a manual process. And we've seen this for the financial documents, really moving from weeks to days, and 98% reduction in those manual errors that we were seeing. We're able to identify missing documents and do that twice as quickly as before. And we received a number of high praises from our users, both reflecting the high usability and performance ratings that they were seeing. So with that, we also saw enhanced compliance, automated reporting, and improved collaboration and communication among departments for that informed decision making that we are after.
Awesome, great. That was a great project, like Jonathan. Glad to hear all the benefits SCAG has received from this solution. Now let's talk about the second case study, interesting case study about the public comments system modernization. Why don't you give us a little bit background on what the project was about, what were the needs and the challenges?
Yeah, for sure. So SCAG has a process that we do every 4 years of releasing our regional transportation plan called Connect SoCal. Actually, sorry, not just transportation, but it's a regional plan including transportation. And there's a number of other elements as well. And that happens every 4 years. And so every 4 years, we actually release a draft leading up to what our hope is, actually publishing that plan out, to be certified by our board of directors for the next 4 years. And so with it, we have this commenting period that's really important to us. And so the commenting system that we have in place is real important to ensure that we've captured every comment and we're responding to it in a way that meets both legal and compliance standards. So our existing system had various old technologies that were not suitable to be public facing anymore. Those included SharePoint 2013 that had not been updated for a few years because we're kind of dusting it off every 4 years. And so this prevented us from being able to perform that public engagement and collect feedback. So we needed to transform that public engagement system by enabling a robust backend infrastructure while also modernizing the app for better usability. So with that, we also aim to increase uptime and ensure seamless usability. So maybe Parth, do you want to talk about the solution you provided?
Absolutely, Jonathan. And that were some of the tough challenges to climb, right? So starting with front-end team, we gathered the detailed requirements for this because we wanted this to be a seamless experience for the end users. And to create that, we created a few different mock-ups that are user-centric, and then built a responsive single-page application for the front end. On the back-end side, we designed a robust system with Azure and SQL Server, and meeting and exceeding the stringent performance requirement that was there for this application. And finally, we propose solution that is secure and scalable, right? As it's a public facing, it's going to be out in the public. We wanted to prevent it from any kind of attacks, denial of service type of attacks. So we prepared a system which is secure and scalable and maintainable. And this was thanks to all the Microsoft technology stack that it was created using. So maybe Jonathan, you can kind of dive deeper into the solution from the technical side.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is really one of my favorite slides and diagrams, as it utilizes many of the key technologies that SCAG has been moving forward towards, using different items in the cloud. So it uses Azure Platform as a Service technologies that allow focusing on just the right level of code and customization that, for us to provide really efficient business solutions. It also utilizes the front-end technologies of React and SCAG's chosen UI kit for the user interface. It uses Azure App Services for the .NET Core application, which can be scaled up or down depending on our usage. And it also uses Logic Apps to transfer documents to SharePoint, which allows for a low-code element or solution for that, for something that would otherwise be more complex if we had custom coded that instead. The code is published using Azure DevOps pipelines, so that makes for simple code updates and deployments. And then maybe just pointing out a couple other things on here as well that has been great for us is that, because we wanted to upload Azure blob storage files directly into SharePoint, but we wanted those to be secure, we were able to turn on some of the platform as a service type services using things like Defender that would scan for viruses for us before it would just hit our SharePoint instance directly, which is important on a public forum like this. So anyways, with this, we went live with the system in November of last year and turned off the unneeded portions after the commenting period ended. And so with that, some of the great impacts we had included the solution that was, well, definitely, we saw that it was profound and had a deep impact compared to our other solution. But we experienced zero data loss during the migration, zero security incidents, achieved 100% uptime, and we ensured that there was uninterrupted availability during the high traffic period, which was great having such a scalable solution. Saw a 1.5 time increase in public engagement, had enabled real-time monitoring so that we could be proactive to issues, but also it was built in such a robust way we didn't run into any of those, but we could have reacted quickly with that monitoring. And we achieved really much quicker and better retrieval of our comments by integrating that full Dynamics, Microsoft Dynamics stack in the back end, and that's ultimately where the comments landed. So Azure costs that directly reflected our usage and need was achieved. So we weren't paying any more than what we needed to for the services supporting this. And then general setup for custom development using the platform as a service technologies is going to be used with the team moving forward. So just sets us up for the future as well.
Awesome. Great to hear all those cost savings that you have received and the performance requirements that were met. I'll encourage participants to put any questions they have in the Q&A panel. We'll take those up at the end. We have a couple more case studies we'll go through, and then we'll do the Q&A. So if you have questions on any of these case studies, please feel free to put into the Q&A panel. All right, let's talk about another one where we did a central data repository solution. Jonathan, so maybe you can start with some of the needs and the challenges of the system.
Yeah, definitely. So central repository was something that of course, we didn't have when we started this project. And so the challenge we've had leading up to this included things like multiple requests to IT for any kind of report updates, requests for any kind of data that somebody on our finance team may need access to that they don't have the ability to pull data from already. What we were facing, included multiple challenges for, effectively analyzing and using data for making informed decisions. And so data modeling was a significant challenge that we had faced as we needed to think through how to pull our information together. We required a holistic and timely view of data insights. And we had multiple systems that just house different data sets, making it difficult to get a complete picture of the organization's operations and performance.
That's right. Right. So we came up with the solution, by very taking a methodical approach for coming up with this solution. Right. So we started by reviewing all the data sources within SCAG, which range from various different systems that SCAG has, along with data that resides in files like Excel and CSV and Microsoft Access database. So this allowed us to understand the landscape and the plan for coming up with a unified data structure. Next, we established a detailed data mapping across these sources and created a data dictionary. So this step was crucial for maintaining consistency and clarity across the organization data. Our team then designed an ETL process that efficiently pulls transactional data into a staging data warehouse. This process ensures that the data is up to date and accurate for analysis. We also use data mart for effective data aggregation and created a semantic layer to structure the data into the cubes, facilitating complex analysis and insights extraction. Finally, we built insightful reports using Power BI, ensuring they are not only informative, but also user-friendly. We implemented role-based access control to maintain data security while promoting collaboration. So this comprehensive approach has set the stage for SCAG to leverage their data in making informed decisions and driving organizational success. So that was the approach and the solution we have built. Jonathan, maybe you can talk about a little bit more in detail about the technical solution.
Yeah, definitely. So, with this particular solution, ultimately what we wanted to end up with is business intelligence at SCAG, and that included things like dashboards and reports. And it is something that I actually sponsored at the organization and gained the executive buy-in needed for it, because in part, not having this would impact my team directly in terms of different requests that would come in and such. And so, really though, looking at the diagram, we want to begin with the end in mind, and that's that, we wanted that business intelligence and that coming in the form of those dashboards and reports. And so with that though, to get there, we had to start with everything that's on the diagram on the left side. So the different source systems that we had, they either had no integration or relation to each other. And so we knew that we needed to bring the information out of those and put it in a central repository. And so the middle part there, you see the data warehouse, or central repository, as we like to think of it, that gets populated by all the ETL jobs and such using SSIS and the different good technology that Microsoft has for creating those ETL jobs. And then with that data warehouse, we reshaped some of the data so that it became more reportable. So then we get a semantic layer that came afterwards that allowed our users to then ultimately create the reports and dashboards, but doing it in such a way where the data wasn't formatted, just in the way that the source system had them. They used logical naming conventions for both the tables and names. And I guess maybe just a quick example of that is with our GP system, in particular, the table names are these kind of cryptic numbers and letters and such that you wouldn't know what would be contained in them just by name alone. But by the time we had moved the data through this process and we brought it to the semantic layer, the table names made sense, and our users were able to create those reports and dashboards without constant hand-holding from the IT team. And so that greatly simplified reporting and enabled our users to be part of this process. So the impact on us for this was significant. So that included zero data loss during the migration, and security incidents were non-existent for us. So that was, of course, an important aspect of this project. We saved and we continue to save about 40 hours of effort each month for gathering data and creating reports and the process automation behind this. We ensured the availability of accurate data on a timely basis, enabled data standardization and dynamic reporting ability, and empowered employees with self-service BI, removing those technical limitations for those reports, and based on all the deployment choices that we had made during the project.
Awesome. Yeah, that was one project where we had a lot of details in the data mapping aspect of it, right? Understanding and connecting all the systems, that was kind of critical there. Let's talk about our last case study here where we rolled out teams. Let's maybe, Jonathan, you can talk about the challenges and the needs.
Sure. Yeah, so with Teams, we faced the challenge of transitioning from Skype to Teams, while clarifying usage guidelines amidst the flurry of Teams creations, SharePoint, and OneDrive queries. And this was happening shortly after the pandemic started, so there was a lot of pressure to roll this out. And we needed a seamless migration of data from Skype to Teams while mitigating business disruption and fostering user adoption through both robust governance and security measures.
Awesome. So the solution, for this, we began with the detailed assessment, identifying the unique use cases and the key user personas that would be using Teams. And this allowed us to tailor our rollout plan to meet specific needs of the SCAG. Right. So to support this, we built a new infrastructure incorporating security and governance features that align with SCAG's requirements. This ensures that our team environment is both secure and compliant. And recognizing the importance of the structure, we also reorganize existing teams to conform to these new governance standards and enhancing overall operational efficiency. Training, in this case, is a key to successful adoption. Right? We provided a customized training sessions for both administrators and end users, ensuring everyone is equipped to use Teams efficiently. Lastly, we developed an actionable roadmap for the IT team. So this roadmap guides them in managing Teams governance, ensuring the platform is used optimally and continues to meet the governance standards. So this strategic approach has set the stage for a successful rollout, fostering collaboration and productivity across SCAG. Jonathan, can you describe the benefit you're receiving of this part of this implementation?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So the impact of our, the solution was substantial. We experienced, again, zero data loss, zero security incidents, saw a 21% increase in productivity and efficiency, and even had 76% of users reporting that they had leveraged Teams within about 15 days after deployment. So it was a great adoption rate. We also delivered an actionable roadmap for the help desk team so that they could continue to manage Teams and the governance we put in place for Teams after the project. So continued governance practices throughout, basically.
Awesome.
Next, we do have a question here from Patricia. The question is, can you share about your support model now that you are in production?
Sure, I assume that's for me. So yeah, our support model, we do have a help desk team, and that's where it kind of goes back to that governance that we had put in place and discussed with AgreeYa. And so there's part of that governance included a definition of the types of teams that we would, I guess, kind of allow, or the structure that we wanted to have in place. So ones that would focus on projects, teams that focus on departments and division level teams, and having that kind of basic outline of the types of teams that we wanted. The requests that would come in through help desk, based on what was requested, we would work with the user and figure out, does it fit into one of those frameworks? And then once it did, we have a different, I guess, kind of template in place for each of those types of teams to follow, so that we set up the security in the team in such a way that reflected those different purposes.
Thank you, Jonathan. We have another question from Rumika. The question is, again, directed towards Jonathan. Can you talk a bit about how the governance process looked like, which teams were involved, etc.? May I repeat the question?
Yeah, no, I see it. So I guess a couple parts of that. I talked a little bit about what the governance process looked like. I could maybe provide a little bit more detail, but maybe starting with who was involved in putting it together. So I'd say we do a pretty good job at collaborating within SCAG in terms of getting input from different stakeholders. So the project management team within IT worked with the different major divisions to bring in representatives. So we had some folks from our finance, government affairs, and executive team, planning team, and such to talk about their usage of Teams and how they hope to use it, and kind of both internal use cases of internal usage and how we wanted to interact with external users as well, and collected all that information, basically determined if the different types of teams that we agreed to put in place matched the use cases from those different groups, and then ultimately found a good middle ground for all of that. And so far we've had good feedback. Nobody has really complained about teams not meeting their needs. So that's kind of the feedback we got. And then the governance processes I kind of talked about already, but again, I'd say maybe just the other governance process goes to around when we're interacting with external parties and how they can be pulled into a team, and using things like the private channels when necessary, and having training around different training for project managers for use of those private channels has been part of that governance process that's allowed the use of Teams to be successful.
Thank you, Jonathan. I have another question coming up from Lily. Her question is regarding the data ETL use case that you shared. And her question is, was any of the application hosted with data residing in the cloud?
I can answer that one as well. So we have it set up so that it can work with data in the cloud, but it doesn't today. So part of the setup we went with reflected our environment with those applications being hosted internally. A couple of them are actually scheduled to move to the cloud, both this year and probably into a couple of years ahead. But it is set up in a way, and we actually worked with AgreeYa on the common response system project where we've incorporated a hybrid connector to pull in data from the cloud and bring it to our internal environment. So we probably use potentially a similar approach there, but I guess the short of that answer is we're not pulling data from the cloud today, but we are set up to be able to do that. And in that central repository, it's going to allow us to make it so that we can use that data in a related way that prevents users from having to worry about where the data is coming from.
Thank you, Jonathan. We have another question from Patricia again. She's asking if SCAG IT team is responsible for making changes to project number 1 and 2, or is it that you have a contract with AgreeYa for that?
I think if I'm understanding the question right, like after the initial solution was done, maintenance and support of it. So part of how we, at least at SCAG, try to do projects is, we wanted to match the technology stack that makes sense for us, and kind of going back to the other reasons mentioned earlier. Part of that is the knowledge assets within the IT team. Part of it's the existing technology that's there. And so for both of those projects, no, SCAG IT maintains those, but when we do need additional support, we reach out to AgreeYa. So I'd say the way that relationship works is, we're like AgreeYa a lot of times for these projects especially is helping us to really bring in that technology and do the project, but we do set it up so that we're tapering off that work so that our internal IT can do the daily maintenance of it, and then we reach back out for a boost here and there if we have a new feature that's needed, or we need new support, or we have a challenge that they can help us with.
Thank you.
Yeah, and to add to that, I think that's the way we try to set up, again, depending on the customer need. Either customer, we hand over, provide all that knowledge transfer, KT to admins, to the technical users, to whoever this technical folks are who is going to support this application. So the customer is self-sufficient in that manner, right? They are using and enhancing that technology. But we do have some customers where they're asking us to maintain that application completely for them. So that's where we provide some of the managed support type of services they can have utilized to expand on those solutions. Thank you for all those questions.
Thank you, Parth. Participants, as you can see that the floor is open to question and answers. In case you have any more questions, please feel free to submit those through the Q&A box. As we approach the conclusion of today's webinar, I would like to thank our panel of speakers for sharing their invaluable insights and expertise with us. Your contributions have certainly provided us with a deeper understanding of streamlining accounting workflows and data, and we are truly grateful for your time. Parth, I'm sure you would like to share the key takeaways also with our participants while we wait for any more questions to come.
Absolutely, yeah. So, Jonathan, our journey with SCAG's digital transformation has been remarkable. We tackled operational efficiencies heads on.
Yeah, absolutely, Parth. And the automation and workflow optimization you've implemented have been game changers for our processes.
All right. And let's not forget the public engagement. Modernizing our systems has made us more accessible and responsive to the community, right?
Yeah, that's right. And the data-driven decision-making tools have empowered us to make strategic choices. The insights we've gained are really invaluable.
Awesome. And our focus on user adoption has really paid off. too, the seamless collaboration with the teams has improved our project management significantly. Do you agree?
Yep, I definitely agree. And, thanks to your team, we're now really future ready, and the digital resilience with, the citizen-centric solutions you've provided have really set us up for the long-term success that we need.
All right. And I think we cannot end this webinar without talking about AI, right? So with all these advancements, I'm curious about SCAG's vision for AI. How do you see the artificial intelligence fitting into your strategy moving forward?
Yeah, that does seem to be the question of the day. So it's a great question, and we're actively exploring AI to enhance our services further. We know that generative AI can be integrated into many of our processes and make them more efficient. And the AI-driven analytics for predictive modeling, can really help us automate routine tasks, which will really allow us to focus on more strategic initiatives. So it's really an exciting time for SCAG as we embrace these new technologies and see what's to come.
Awesome. And it's been a pleasure working with SCAG, Jonathan. And we are proud of the contributions of these achievements and looking forward to more future collaborations. With that, Kanu, I hand it over to you.
Thank you, Jonathan and Parth. And we cannot end this webinar without special thanks to the organizers for arranging this thought-provoking session. We hope you found today's discussion informative, inspiring all participants. On behalf of SCAG, AgreeYa and SISDA, and the entire webinar team, thank you for joining us today. In case you have any more questions, we still have participants, our panelists available to answer those. Let the digital transformation continue. If you have any further questions or feedback, please feel to reach out to AgreeYa Solutions at marketing@agreeya.com. Wishing you all a wonderful day ahead. Until next time, take care and have a great day, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you all.
Thank you all.